Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And if you're subscribed to me, you'll see that I painted this Pandem 400Z body in my last video. This is the Yokomo Pandem Fairlady Z 400Z body. And in my last video, I showed on how to mask and prep the body and paint it and do all that. So make sure to go back and check that out. And for the paint on this one, I started off with the PS17 metallic green. I did the first coat a light coat, and then like 10 or 15 minutes drying between coats. Then the second and third coat I did a little heavier. Then I backed that with silver. And then I pulled off the additional masking I did for around the window trim and windows and all that stuff. You'll see in my video that I did on how I painted it. So then I peeled those masks off, and then I finished it off with the black. Silver I used is the PS41 bright silver, and then black is PS5. So in today's video, I'm going to be adding the rest of the little accessories, like the Z mirrors I got from Sideways RC, the headlight buckets that I painted. It's like a silver and black two-tone. And you got the front canards. Not sure if I'm going to use these or not yet. I kind of like the way the front looks without these. So I guess we'll find out by the end of the video if I use these. And then for the tail light buckets, also in that other video I show how I did these. I did the silver strip on the bottom, and then the two top layers of lenses were clear. And now it's got that red you can see. I'll show you what I used to put in there to give that effect. Then we got the duckbill spoiler that I painted. Alright, what I'm going to be using to mount a majority of these is some 3M double-sided tape. Now since this has a little bit of that like foam insulation in there, it's not like completely flat. I'm not going to be using this on the spoiler. I'm going to actually be using, and I ordered it, should be here anytime, so that way I can finish gluing the magnets to the body. But I'll be using the E600, I think it is, or E6000 glue. And I'll be gluing this down that way. There's not a big gap between here. First up, I'm going to mount the Sideways RC Z mirrors. First up, I'm going to put the little reflective decal on here. And then I will press the tape against here, the double-sided tape, and then trim these three edges with an X-Acto knife. That way every bit of this has contact on the body. And the stickers that come with these have a really nice chrome-like reflectiveness to it, so should add a nice scale touch to the mirrors. Got this nice little mirror to put on. I don't know if you can tell, but got like the whole piece of the tape pressed down there, and I used the flat edge of the tape as one of the edges there, so it's nice and smooth on the top part. Now I'm going to trim this excess off the sides. Alright, got the mirrors on. Now I think it's time for the headlights. Alright, so what you want to do is put tape around these edges here, but not go too far in so you can see it through the headlight lens. And you can kind of see this line that goes all the way across of the shape of the headlight, so just keep your double-sided tape to the outside edge. Alright, so I got some pieces on here. I'm going to do another little strip down here, but I'm going to do it on the inside part that you're pressing on the inside of the body, so make sure you put it on the right side. And then just peel this red part off and then stick it underneath there and make sure you have it lined up good, because this stuff is really sticky.
That's what she said!
Alright, got that headlight in. Get the other one in and I'll get some better shots. And on the inside, you can see down there, just then down there you can see just kind of presses into place. Alright, get a little better look. going to look so much better when I finally get the LEDs in there. Okay. Headlights, the mirrors make a big difference.
Wow!
Moving on to the rear. Get these taillights installed. Alright, and what I did for these lenses to give it that red look, instead of using paint, is this big roll of this like red translucent vinyl. I got these to do the taillights on another project years ago, so I just cut this into strips to fit over those two top lenses there. 3 layers, so the more layers the darker red it gets. Yeah, it looks more red in real life. I don't know how it's looking on camera, but with the little LED in there, it should look pretty good. And then also on the rear of the car is a little reflector lens, I don't know, whatever you want to call that here. That's clear. I did tape that off, so I think I might just put a couple strips of the red tape I just showed you on the back side of there, just to add like a little bit of color. I don't plan on putting any LEDs there, but the light from these other ones might shine through it and give it a kind of cool look. So I guess we'll see. And then same thing like the headlights. You're going to put your double-sided tape on the part here that presses up against the body, not to go down too far into the lens area that's going to show through. Alright, got the little side reflector there. Got the red tape on the insides. Looks pretty good. Alright. It has a way better look to it. Yeah, way more realistic look. And then one of the few stickers I use, I cut out the little Nissan logo there. And then also the little Z badges for the side. And then for the canards, I'm not too sure if I'm going to run these. Everybody else seems to run these. I kind of like the way the clean colored body look. Get that front mount intercooler in there. It'll fill in this gap here. So yeah, I'm going to wait on the canards. Might use those for another project. Or I might double side tape them on here for a little bit to see how they look. But yeah, this thing is looking killer. Those headlights. The mirrors make a big difference. Alright, now I'm just waiting for the E6000 glue so I can glue the spoiler down. I think while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to tape off and spray the black cowl on here. Alright, finally got the screw kit and the E6000 glue after days of delays from Amazon. But I'm not mad though. Alright, well, I've never used the E6000 adhesive before, but this is supposed to be pretty good stuff in the RC world, so I'm going to be using this to attach the spoiler on the back of here, as well as the magnets for the magnetic body mounts. I'm going to be using that to adhere the magnets to the body. And then the screw kit I've been waiting on. This is like a 710 piece M3 screw kit. It's got multiple sizes and then some with like nuts and washers. And if you remember from before, the last couple of videos I put out, I had to use the longer screws to mount my motor because it did not come with hardware and the screws I had were too long, so I have these spacers in there and it just sticks out and doesn't look great. So now I have the right size screws, so I can replace those. Alright, so before I glue anything, I'm probably going to do the magnets last because I have to let this sit, overnight for the glue to adhere. I'm going to do the screws on the motor first, swap them out. And then on the body, there are some spots that I wanted to do some paint on the outside for kind of like a two-tone. One is the cowl here. So yeah, the hood cowl on the inside part here. I decided I'm not going to use the sticker. I'm going to tape this off and paint this with the black. And then I'm going to do a tiny strip at the top of the windshield here that separates the part where it paints to the black part here that's shiny, like that part of the glass. I want to simulate that little weather strip piece that goes across there. So I think that should look pretty good. Alright, I'm going to take the body off of here and clear all this out. And I'm going to get to the screws on the motor first. Alright, and since I got this screw kit, it's got a whole bunch of stuff in there. I'm going to ditch these stock front body mounting posts. I don't like it because they're kind of bendy and these slide back and forth, so I'm going to use one of the longer screws with a nut and bolt. And then I'm going to attach the magnets on the front here like that and just nut and bolt them through the shock tower here. That'll be a lot more sturdy than the little grub screws on this plastic. Alright, got this one mounted here. See, it's just a little washer and a nut and a screw going through the shock tower. And this thing is super sturdy. That ain't going nowhere. Now we don't have this stupid pole sticking straight out. Alright, now I'm going to do this side. I got the front in a good position. These are on there nice and firm. Not sticking out at all, nice and sleek looking. Now I'm going to move on to the rear. And I'm going to do the same thing. I got to find some spacers about the same width as these. Because I don't trust these little grub screws on these cheap Traxxas plastic. So I'm going to make these just as strong as the fronts. Now that I got all the mounts good to go, I'm going to work on the two mounting screws here for the motor. As you can see, if you watch my electronics installation video, you'll see I had to use a couple little plastic spacers because the two screws that I had were too long. I didn't want to go inside of here and mess anything up. But now that I got this screw kit, I can find the right size screws that are just long enough. Alright, got the two right screws in here. Looks a lot better than them sticking out with them spacers. Got the gear mesh set using the specially designed by NASA gear mesh technique. Piece of paper. Now I can tape off the body and paint the cowl and a couple little things like I had mentioned earlier. Got the window cowl, that little weather stripping part at the top taped off. I'm going to spray those black. The cowl and the little window trim piece is dried. I'm going to take off this masking tape now. And I started to tape off the bottom of the skirts here. Are on the side, but I'm going to wait and do those another time. So I'll probably do the front lip, the sides, and then that rear part, if not part of it, all of that. So I might do that another time, but as of right now, just the cowl and the window trim. The little trim up here is not as noticeable. I should use like a flat black or something, but mainly it was to cover up. There was a couple spots of the green that bled through, so this at least cleaned up that line and made it look better. And then we got the cowl. That looks way better on there. Makes the hood look more realistic. Alright, now that we got all the other things finished, we got the spoiler I have to glue on. Bust out the E6000 glue. So this tube of the adhesive came with a little pack of these like fine tip precision needles, which is kind of cool for getting like smaller little spaces. I'm going to use one of these for doing the spoiler. Got the spoiler glued on. Looks good. Yeah, it looks good. There's not like a huge gap. I was going to run the double-sided tape. Same stuff I used to like mount the electronics, but it has that foam in there like I said. So I just didn't want that little bit of gap in between. I guess the last thing to do now is to just double check and make sure all the magnets are in the right spot. Put some glue on there and glue it to the body and hope it's lined up. I just got the car set on top of this box. That way I can spin it around and make sure I have the alignment as best as I can get it. So now I'm going to put some adhesive on the magnets and put it on. Got the glue on. And then I just have some nuts on top to kind of help the magnet pull the body and like kind of sandwich them together to help with the glue. Well, we got everything accomplished that we wanted to. I think I'm going to end the video here. Thank you again for watching. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. Keep tuning in for more custom things I'm going to be doing to this. I have a couple more bodies that I'm going to be ordering here soon because really into the customization part. I love the painting and things like that. So stay tuned for that. See you in the next one.